On this video, I am coming to look at the Church of Philadelphia. We've been working through the 7 churches of Asia Minor, and we are now at the Church of Philadelphia, looking at the Greek text along with commentary. Just to give a little background, again, I am quoting from Breaking the Code by Bruce M. Metzger on page 40 and 41. Philadelphia was about 35 miles north, 35 miles southwest of Sardis. The city had been founded in the 2nd century BC by Attalus II Philadelphus, one of the kings of Pergamon, and was the youngest of the 7 cities. Philadelphia is the Greek word which means one who loves his brother. Such was the affection of Attalus for his brother Eumenes that he was called Philadelphus, and it was after him that Philadelphia was named. It's also interesting that the ancient historian Strabo called Philadelphia a city full of earthquakes. Earth tremors were frequent and had caused many former inhabitants to leave the city for a safer home in the surrounding country. The severe earthquake of AD 17, which had devastated Sardis, almost completely demolished Philadelphia. But by the 90s, when John is writing, with the aid of an imperial, or after John is writing, I should say, with the aid of an imperial subsidy, Philadelphia had been rebuilt, and within the city there was a congregation of Christian believers. So that's a little bit about the background, and I'd like to read the Greek and look at the grammar. It reads, Kai to angelo tes in Philadelphia ecclesias grapsan, and to the angel which is in Philadelphia, in the church of in Philadelphia, write. Grapsan is your aorist imperative second person singular from grapho. Ta delege ha hagias, ha alethenas. These things, says the Holy One, the genuine one, ha ekon tein klein David, ha anoigon kai udes klese, kai kleon kai udes anoige. The one who is having the key of David, speaking of Christ here, showing the authority to open and close, and it's looking at opportunities. Ha anoigon kai udes klese, the one who opens and no one will close. Anoigon is your present participle, active participle, nominative masculine singular from anoigo, and no one shall close, from pleo, future indicative active, third person singular. Kai kleon, kai udes anoige, and the one who is closing and no one is opening. Kleon again is your present active participle, nominative masculine singular, and anoige is from anoigo, present indicative active, third person singular. So this is looking at opportunity, it looks like to me, and he's making a reference back to the Hebrew Bible, back to the Old Testament, when he makes this statement, the one opening and no one is able to close. Back to Isaiah 22, verse 22. So then we move on. Oida suta erga, I know your works, udededoka enopion su thuran eneogmene. I know your works. Behold, I have given before you a door having been opened. Oida is your perfect indicative active first person singular from oida. It has a present meaning. And behold, I have given you, this is from didomi, perfect indicative active first person singular from didomi. I have given before you a door having been opened from anoigo. This is your perfect passive participle accusative feminine singular from anoigo, which no one is able to close. Cain udes dunatai klesai altain. No one is able to close it. Again, we have klesai from kleo. It's the aorist active infinitive. No one is able to close it because I'm giving you an opportunity here, and there's an open door, is what John is saying, the Lord is saying. You have a little power, and you have kept my word, and you have not denied my name. That is, as we read on here, Chate mekran eches, you are having power, little power. Eches is your present indicative active, second person singular from echo, and you have kept my word from tereo, aorist indicative active, second person singular from tereo. You have kept my word, and you have not denied my name. Erneso is from arneamai. It is your aorist indicative middle, second person singular from arneamai. In other words, you've been faithful. You've kept my word. You have not denied my name, but you have little power. Dido ekte synagoges tu satana ton legonton healtus Judaius Ani. That is, behold, I am giving out of the synagogue of Satan the ones who are calling themselves Jews, to be Jews, kai uk esan ala pseudantai, and they are not, but they are lying. Idu poieso autus hena hexusin kai proskunesusin enopion ton padonsu kai genosin hate ego agapesa se. Notice dido here is your present indicative active first person singular from didomi. Behold, I am giving out of the synagogue of Satan the ones who are saying themselves to be Jews. Legonton is the participle, your present active participle, genitive plural from lego. And ani is your present active infinitive from ami. And they are not, but they are lying or liars. Behold, I will make, poieso is from poieo, I will make them, hena hexusin kai praskunesusin. I will make them in order that they shall come. This is from heko, future indicative active, third person plural from heko. And they shall worship before your feet. Praskunesusin from praskuneo, future indicative active, third person plural, before your feet, and genosin they shall know from genosko, future indicative active, third person plural from genosko, that I have loved you. Agapesa from agapao, aorist indicative active, first person singular. And it is interesting on this particular verse, there is a statement by Metzger, and this is on page 41. The missionary zeal of the church had been met with opposition. The source of this opposition appeared to have come from the Jewish population of the city, who rejected the claim of Christians to be the spiritual Israel. Since John himself had been born a Jew, we must not take the expression, those of the synagogue of Satan, in an anti-Jewish or anti-Semitic sense. The synagogue at Philadelphia was criticized not for being Jewish, but for being hostile to Jewish Christians. The authorities of the synagogue would undoubtedly have excommunicated any of their group also who confessed Jesus as the Messiah. And so I think that this is what is going on here, as Metzger says. He went on to say, "Never mind, says Christ, the time will come when those who have resisted the gospel will yet recognize the church as the true Israel of God and will learn that I have loved you." And I'm quoting this from Metzger on page 41 and 42. So then we move on to the next verse. So it is not at all anti-Semitic. It's basically a debate going on among Jewish people, those who were following Christ and those who were not. That's the debate. And John, being Jewish, is emphasizing that he's part of the true Israel that is following Christ, or the spiritual Israel, we could say. So again, that's Metzger's commentary on that, and again, that is in his book, Breaking the Code. Then we move on. Hate ateresas tan lagan te hupamanesmu kago se tereso ek tes horas tu perasmu tes meluses erkastai epites oikamenes hales perasai tus katoi kuntas epites gates. Because you have kept the word of my patience, even I will keep you out of the hour of testing, which is about to come upon the inhabited earth, all the inhabited earth, to test the ones who dwell down upon the earth. Hate ateresas is from tereo. It is the aorist indicative active, first person singular, second person singular, from tereo, because you have kept the word of my patience. You've been patient to follow me and keep my word, Jesus is saying. Then I will make, tereso is your future indicative active from tereo. I will make that out, or I will keep you, I should say. I will keep you out of the hour of testing, which is about to come upon the inhabited earth. Tes meluses is from melo. It is your participle, genitive singular, a present active participle, feminine genitive singular from melo. So I will keep you out of the testing, the hour of testing, which is about to come. Erkastai is your present middle infinitive from erkamai, upon all the inhabited earth. Oikumenes is from oikeo. It is the participle, the present participle, feminine genitive singular from oikeo. So upon the earth, or upon the inhabited earth, all of it, to test. Perasse is from perazzo, aorist active infinitive, to test the ones who are dwelling down upon the earth. Kata koi, doi kuntas is from kat doi keo. It is your participle, the present participle accusative plural uh, from kat doi keo. So, in other words, I'm going to protect you through that hour of testing. There's a big debate on that. Is that referring to the future tribulation period, or is that talking about being kept through that period, not taken out of it, and looking at the final judgment as well? Those who would argue for that position would appeal to John chapter 17, where I don't pray that you take them out of the world, Jesus is praying, but that you keep them out of the evil one. And it's the same kind of language, that you keep them out of the evil one, or out of Satan's kingdom, seems to be the idea. And it's the same, really almost the same expression in the Greek text. And so as we look at John 17, in his prayer, it seems to provide a way of understanding this text, that you keep them from Satan's kingdom and that you protect them then from that hour of testing, meaning the final judgment that would come. This, by the way, is in verse 15 of John 17. U erotochena ares autus ek tu cosmu, alhena tereses autus ek tu paneru. That is, and I am not asking in order that you take them out of the world, but in order that you tereses, that you might keep them ek tu paneru, out of the evil one, meaning out of Satan's kingdom. So then we go back to the text that we've been looking at, and we're at verse 11. Erkamai tahu, grate ha ekes hena medes labetan Stephanon su. That is, I am coming quickly. Grasp that which you are having in order that no one might take your crown. Erkamai is your present middle indicative, first person singular from erkamai, and grasp from krateo is your present imperative, second masculine singular. So grasp that which you are having. Ekes is from echo, present indicative active, second person singular, in order that no one might take your crown. Labe is from lambano. Notice with henna here, it takes the subjunctive, aorist subjunctive active, third person singular from lambano, in order that no one might take your Stephanon, means the victory crown, like in the Olympics, that no one will take your victory crown. John sees the church running, as it were, and being faithful as an Olympic runner, receiving a Stephanon, receiving a crown, because of that at the end of the race. And then he concludes, Ha nikon poieso autan stulan into nao tu theumu kai exo ume excelthe heti kai grapso eti autan ta anima tu theumu kai ta animates palaos tu theumu tes kanes Jerusalem Jerusalem, he katabainusa ek tu uranu apa tu thaumu, kaita anama mu ta kainon. That is, the one who conquers. Notice the definite article with the participle here. Nikon is from nikao, present active participle nominative masculine singular. The one who conquers, I will make him a pillar, from poieo, future indicative active first person singular from poieo. I will make him a pillar, something permanent, not something that can be blown over by an earthquake. And so there seems to be an allusion back to the earthquake. So I will make him a pillar, something permanent in the temple of my God. We're looking at that eternal temple, it seems, in Revelation chapter 21 and 22. And outside, he will not go out, not at all. Ume, not at all. Excelse is your aorist active infinitive, aorist active subjunctive, third person singular from exergamon. So he will not go out again or yet, or again we could say, and I will write, grapso, future indicative active from grapho, I will write upon him the name of my God and the name of the city of my God, which is New Jerusalem. In other words, the one who conquers will be part of that New Jerusalem. And I will write the name of that city. That's a wonderful assurance that we can have today if we have our faith rooted in Christ. The New Jerusalem, which is coming down, looking at that eternal Jerusalem in Revelation 21 and 22, which is coming down, kata bainusa, out of heaven from God. Here we have kata bainusa from kata baino. It is a participle. I will write upon him the city, the name of the city of my God and of New Jerusalem, which is coming down. This is another participle, an aorist a present participle, feminine nominative singular from kata baino. So I will write the name of the city of my God, of New Jerusalem, which is coming down out of heaven from my God. Looking again at Revelation, I think, chapter 21 and 22. And I will write my new name, Kaita Anama Mu Ta Kainan. What a beautiful promise here that God will write his own name upon the believers that are faithful to him, faithful to Christ. Or Christ will write his name upon them. Jesus promised that if you confess me, I will confess you, and I will make you mine, and so forth. And so, ha echon hus accusato titanuma lege tais ecclesiais. The one who is having ears, let him hear what the Spirit is saying to the churches. Ha ekon, definite article ha, with ekon, your present active participle nominative masculine singular. The one who is having ears, let him hear from akuo. This is your aorist imperative third person singular from akuo. Let him hear what the Spirit is saying to the churches. What a beautiful message that one who is faithful to the Lord Jesus Christ is promised to be part of that new temple, a pillar in it, a permanent, part of that, not being moved out of it, like what has happened in Philadelphia with the earthquakes and so forth that had occurred. And I will write my new name, which is the resurrected Lord, and who has conquered death and sin on our behalf. What a beautiful challenge for Christians to follow Christ and to be faithful to Him. And the Church of Philadelphia is promised then to be kept from the hour of testing, and it depends on how you interpret that, either from the tribulation period, some will say, others say through the hour of testing, just like being kept from the evil one in John 17, and looking at the final judgment, that one will be kept through it and brought in to that eternal, wonderful temple that's coming down someday from heaven. Jesus said, I go to prepare a place for you, and if I go, I will come again and receive you to myself, that where I am, there you may be also. And he's preparing that permanent temple, which is symbolically represented in chapters 21 and 22, I believe.